When comedians come to an interview, they expect basic questions about their life and their comedy. But when the interviewers resort to woke agenda to influence the comedian's opinion or make them say the wrong thing, comedians quickly put these interviewers in their place. Like the time Bill Burr was asked an extremely stupid question.
Can women be funny?
Yeah, of course.
But a simple yes wasn't enough for the interviewer, and she began justifying her stupid question by saying there are too many angry men on the internet who say otherwise. Bill instantly realized what she was trying to do and shut her down.
Will you guys just grow up and just sit down and write your own horse and come up with it? Start your own show, have your own award show. Quit waiting around for other people to do for you. That's the problem.
Bill's explanation was simple. If women had their own big club and he was standing outside it, they'd never let him in, and they would force him to start his own comedy ventures. Exactly what he wanted other women to do.
So write your own and quit your whining. We're all eating a giant sandwich out here. Nobody cares. I don't care.
Absolutely, but I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a web person.
The up. Makes no difference whether you got a dick or a twat. All right?
The interviewer tried putting Bill on the spot to make him say something controversial, but got a life lesson instead. But while Bill still tried to set the interviewer on the right path, Tim Dillon skipped the reservations to kick woke Whoopi Goldberg out of her own show. For context, Whoopi is extremely infamous for expressing her insane takes on live TV.
The Holocaust isn't about race.
And Tim wanted anything except hearing Whoopi in the morning, even if it meant listening to more of the other hosts on The View. But when asked if Whoopi's suspension fixed the show, Tim dropped a nuclear bomb on the entire panel.
So we fixed the show.
That's how to
That's your goal.
Well, the real way to fix the show is to destroy it.
For Tim, daytime TV was about stuff like seasonal cupcake recipes. But when hosts like Whoopi bring up the Holocaust first thing in the morning, Tim had some stuff to say.
Why are we doing the Holocaust at 11 a.m.? It's 11 in the morning. Why are we doing the Holocaust? Calm down. Daytime TV is for people to get into the day. I feel about them the way I feel about Long Island. It's a necessary but obnoxious part of life.
This next interviewer's woke agenda was anything but an accident when she accused Caitlin Clark of white privilege before getting humbled by Alex Stein. The View host spent 2 minutes explaining why Caitlin Clark's success had nothing to do with basketball.
There is a thing called pretty privilege. There is a thing called white privilege. Caitlin Clark is bringing this money, these sponsorships, we hope, into the league, and other players will benefit from it. But I do think that she is more relatable to more people because she's white.
Alex was already on live TV when another newscaster played this clip and asked Alex's opinion on it. Alex knew exactly what the host on The View was and didn't hold back even if it meant the entirety of the USA could see it.
Alex, some insightful commentary on The View there?
Well, it's always a racist that makes everything about color of skin and gender. The reason why people like her is because she's a leading NCAA women's basketball scorer of all time.
In his final takedown, Alex clocked the interviewer's victim mentality on the spot.
They want to make everything about race. If Caitlin Clark wasn't the best player, nobody would care. But of course, the host on The View has to make everything about race and has to just spread victimhood because that's the narrative that they love to preach.
The argument that the best player in the sport succeeded because of her skin color collapsed the moment someone pointed out she was the best player in the sport. While this interviewer reduced Caitlin's success to her skin color, this next one took race politics even further by trying to cancel Trevor Noah for making jokes about his own race.
Do you now regret some of the jokes you made? And let me give you an example. You said, my mother, Black South African, was saying, get me a white guy, get me a white guy. Well, my father was white Swiss. Of course, he liked chocolate.
That sounds funny to me, even when you say it. That sounded really funny. Why would I regret that?
Because some people say that's not really very funny.
Despite Trevor's best efforts, though, the interviewer refused to melt.
I saw people and race as chocolate.
I wouldn't use that. I wouldn't use that. I'm that color, and I wouldn't say that.
Listen, when I grew up, I believed that all people were chocolates. My mom was dark chocolate, my dad was white chocolate, and I was milk chocolate. So I see all people. So you see that
as funny, but do you not realize that some people might not like that?
Not giving up, Trevor still tried educating her on comedy.
You're creating monoliths of jokes, and that's not fair to do. Every single joke has a context. Every single joke comes from a place. The most important thing with comedy is context. Without context, no conversation is complete. Without context, no communication can truly be appreciated.
But somebody could take that out of context.
She responded to a lecture about context by immediately taking something out of context, and Trevor immediately clocked her for it.
Trevor Noah says his mother's chocolate. I'm going to go around saying that to my black friends, and they might take offense. You could be reinforcing prejudice.
You could be doing anything if you are not doing the opposite. How your action is implied does not define what you were doing.
With no other options, Trevor took the help of his favorite music teacher to show the interviewer how unhinged she sounds.
What you're doing right now is the equivalent of me saying, now it's raining more than ever. I'll be here with you forever. You can always be my friend, standing under my umbrella, Ella, 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 Ella. I seem like a mad person right now because I'm not doing everything that was within the context of the song Umbrella by Rihanna.
He sang Rihanna in an interview about race politics to explain how context works. It was the clearest thing anyone said in the entire exchange.
The woke interviewer parroted the same argument again and again, similar to this next one, who tried to loop John on talking about cancel culture until he had enough.
What is it about cancel culture that interests you?
Well, it's a relatively new phenomenon, and of course it affects comedians because a lot of us do jokes that the cancel culture people, the woke people, don't think are right or don't think are correct.
But when the host sent John loaded questions, he made sure they blew up in her own face.
Where racist behavior, for instance, was couched as a bit of banter, is that acceptable in your view as a joke?
I think it's a very poor question.
Are you saying that people
Now, I think you were going to ask me, are you going to ask me about being here in Singapore to do shows and in Bangkok, or is that at the back of your agenda?
With her outrage itch still not satisfied, she tried to steer it back to cancellation road, and John was having none of it.
John, I want to ask you about your thoughts on another comedian. I don't know if you know this American comedian, Dave Chappelle, who faced a huge backlash for his comments.
We're back on cancel culture. Yes, I thought we were going to be talking about shows and comedy, but I'm not interested in doing this interview anymore, so I'll leave you now. Bye-bye.
Okay.
While John chose to save his insults for the interviewer, the same can't be said for Andrew Schulz, who exposed their entire profession in one punchline.
When you said a second ago, you're a comedian, you're on a podcast with other comedians. Yeah. Do you think there's, something just like slightly disingenuous about that? Or it's like really when is somebody supposed to, who's watching it or listening, they're supposed to minute to minute of the conversation be like, oh, now he's in comedian mode. No, never. Now he's in public commentator mode. Like how?
But when Andrew responded, it left the interviewer speechless.
Always treat me as a comedian.
Always treat you as a comedian.
Yeah, don't, because I've never asked you to treat me any other way.
Yeah, but you're talking seriously now.
You are making me serious, but I'm a comedian. To me, I'm always a comedian. You guys are deciding that I'm not. But do I have to be funny every second to be a comedian? When you're funny, do you stop being a journalist?
Not stopping his offense there, the interviewer next accused Andrew of not taking accountability.
When you're saying that, I'm not saying I'm a political pundit. I'm just a comedian. That is your version of saying, it's not up to me to answer these questions about things I've said.
That's not true. What question have I avoided? You have an opinion about me, and you're not willing to wiggle away from it, but you don't realize that I'm agreeing with you.
But Andrew quickly pointed out who has the real privilege in today's world.
But what I would love is what you have, which is you get to be a journalist, but then when you make a joke, we don't go, you were pretending to be a comedian there, and that joke that you did wasn't funny enough, so right now you never get to make jokes again, because that joke you tried to make was not funny. What I'm saying is that there is not an exact even exchange in the mirror between us.
The straw that broke Andrew's back, however, was when the host accused him of being too biased for the right and not the left.
I know it's strange that he's not asking Donald Trump about more pointed questions about economics.
What did I ask Bernie about economics?
Well, you guys talked a lot about economic inequality.
But what about policy? What
Andrew,
would you like me to ask?
I don't know the specific question. The question is about...
Specifics are important.
The question,
calling out his insufficient research, Andrew checkmated the interviewer in his own game.
You're making an accusation that I didn't ask something, but you don't have the thing that you would have liked me to ask. Here's a good moment for accountability. Do you think it was fair to present that economic policy question to me about Trump, not really knowing what you're talking about?
Yes, I asked you a question.
Okay. That's where it feels gotcha to me.
And just like Andrew revealed the interviewer's true colors with one last dunk.
In that moment, what I felt like is, he's trying to point me out as doing something inadequate in this interview. But the only goal of his question was to expose inadequacy, not to actually learn something.
Dave Chappelle exposed the skin color of his haters in his latest Netflix special.
When Dave performed in Saudi Arabia, the American press had feelings about it, and Dave had feelings about their feelings, and saved the most specific one for Bill Maher.
Recently in the news, I've been getting a lot of grief again because I did comedy festival in Saudi Arabia. America's whites, they're furious. Boy, I gotta tell you something.
But Dave saved his deadliest artillery for the liberal news host who stirred up the pot.
I don't feel guilty at all. And Bill Maher, the famous comedian, I've known Bill since I was like 18, 19 years old, and I've never said this publicly, but that guy. I'm so tired of this little smug crack commentary.
And to silence the rest of his haters, Dave dropped a hypocrisy check that they could never cash in.
They said, well, Saudi Arabia killed a journalist, and rest in peace, Jamal Khashoggi. I'm sorry that he got murdered in such a heinous fashion, but Israel's killed 240 journalists in the last 3 months. So I didn't know y'all was still counting.
But while Maher attacked Dave indirectly from his own safe space, this next woke interviewer had the audacity to humiliate Joan Rivers directly on live TV.
Joan Rivers had been doing comedy for 50 years when this interviewer sat down across from her and spent the first 2 minutes cataloging everything she did wrong.
In all these, I guess forays, it's been, very good to you. And you've got best-selling books. You sell out on stage, even with your fashion critiquing. While it's very mean in some ways, people can't wait to hear what you have to say. Really? It's not mean?
It's not mean. I tell the truth.
Even with Joan defending herself, the interviewer's agenda didn't stop.
Well, what about when it is about something, that really does seem off limits to a lot of people? I mean, even in your book, you kind of joke about the death of Casey Anthony's baby, Princess Diana surviving so many landmines and who she dated. I mean, do you feel like there are boundaries ever, even if it makes people uncomfortable or offend people, or what?
Taking it like a champ, Joan educated the interviewer on actual comedy.
Life is very tough, and if you can make a joke to make something easier and funny, do it. Done. Do it. That's all. Darlene, I don't know what your life has been like, but I have a lot of people who have gone through hell. And if you can Winston Churchill said, if you make someone laugh, you give them a little vacation.
She cited Winston Churchill. The interviewer responded by asking about the fur coat.
You have some shock value to you. I mean, on the cover of your book, you're wearing a fur, and you knew that there would probably be animal rights activists.
This whole interview is becoming a defensive interview.
No!
Are you wearing leather shoes?
Yes!
Shut up.
I'm talking.
You know what I mean? I don't want to hear. You're wearing fur. You're wearing leather shoes.
And Joan's rampage only ended with the most valid crash out in history.
All you have done is negative. I make people laugh for 50 years. I am put on earth to make people laugh. My book is funny. I wear fur that was killed 15 years ago. I work for animal rights. Stop it with, and you do this, and you're mean, and you're that. You are not the one to interview a person who does humor. Sorry.
Proving that no matter what, comedians always find a way to shut down disrespectful interviewers.